Going to talk about breakfast this morning. I know this is such a big subject and it's a really tricky one for a lot of us because breakfast is and the mornings can be an incredibly frantic time for getting out the door. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some great breakfast options, but first of all I'm going to tell you one of the best things you can do for your kids' health in the mornings around breakfast has nothing to do with the actual food they are eating. So what I mean by this is we are rushing our kids' experience of food, particularly around breakfast, because we're all in a hurry. We're all stressed, we're all frantic, we're all trying to get to school, and their experience around food is not great for their health. Because what's happening is our kids are not chewing enough. The process of mastication, chewing our foods, puts an enormous amount of relief on our digestive energy. When we shovel food in and don't chew enough, all of that digestive energy is required in our tummies. And basically what that does is that makes our kids really, really damn tired. So actually by just chewing and encouraging our kids to slow down their experience of food, first step. Second step, breakfast cereals are one of the biggest lies on the planet, and we have been marketed in a billion-dollar industry to believe that eating our food, cardboard food out of cardboard boxes, is normal. So we need to start thinking differently about breakfast cereals. What is the problem with breakfast cereals? Apart from most of them being laden with additives, preservatives, huge amounts of sugar and refined salt, the biggest problem for breakfast cereals is the extrusion of the grains. Now the word extruded, I really encourage you to Google Sally Fallon, who did a brilliant video about what happens to breakfast cereals. Why do they go into that shape and how is that process? So extrusion is the process where we get it into a Nutri-Grain shape or a rice bubble or a wheat bix or whatever. And during that process of extrusion, what that does is it disturbs the grain so much that our kids' bodies don't recognize that as actual recognizable food. So most of us eat breakfast cereals, which are wheat. And then of course we go on to eat sandwiches for lunch, pastas for dinner, wheat. And extruded wheat for breakfast is probably one of the most damaging things we can do for our kids' health. In the studies that they fed rats extruded grains, what they found is the rats started to go nuts. They started to become aggressive. And the reason is they weren't getting adequate nutrition or fats. And the rats' bodies didn't recognize these grains as real food. Now, if we look at a brain cell is made up of a lipid bilayer. Lipid meaning fat, bi meaning to, and layer meaning around the outside of the cell. We need to be feeding our kids brain cells at breakfast. They're going to school to learn, to thrive, to take on information. They cannot do it if we keep feeding them extruded grains. There is nothing there for them. Their brain cells are literally starving by 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. We need to be giving good quality fats for breakfast. Fats is what keeps our kids satiated and full, and it's also what feeds their brain, letting them thrive and learn and grow. So what are good quality fats for breakfast? We need to be feeding them eggs, avocados, seeds, nuts, flax seeds, sunflower seeds, macadamias, cashews, high fat foods. This is why we do magic sprinkles, which is a complete mix. There's no nuts in it, but a complete mix of seeds with extremely high fat. All right, so let's try and start thinking of ideas of breakfast outside of the breakfast cereal box. I'm going to put a link in the profile for the journal. I'm going to have all of the list of what I feed my kids for breakfast and all of the recipes. So you can say, well, my kids don't eat flax seeds. They don't like avocado. They don't like eggs. Okay, let's get creative. How can we put those seeds into a smoothie? How can we do a choose your own adventure breakfast cereal? This is what I used to do with my kids. Once a week, we would make up the breakfast cereal for the week. A base of good quality oats, not the oats in the supermarket. We want organic oats. Oats are cheap, even organic oats. So buy yourself a great base and choose your own adventure. Make up your own breakfast cereal. Get some sulfate-free sultanas. Get some coconut that doesn't have any preservatives in it. Make up your own thing with some goji berries, with some whatever they like in it. Get them to choose their own adventure. Mix it up. Make their own mix in the mornings. Then you can toast it, make granola, put some honey on it. You can cook it up into porridge, put lots of seeds in it, ground up as a powder if they don't really like the actual whole seeds, chia seeds, anything that you can grind up into like a powder and mix through. Choose your own adventure breakfast cereals. Then if you're going to have it with milk, make sure you, if you do eat dairy, drink dairy, make sure it's organic, because we don't want to be giving kids, first of all, low fat anything, always full fat all the way. Try and get organic milk if you can. We want our cows to not be fed growth hormones, particularly with the huge amounts of hormones that our kids are given in their food and their dairy. You know, there is no coincidence that our girls are getting body odor at 9, that our boys are starting to smell by 9. You know, we are so overloading them with growth hormones. We need to just try and minimize the exposure. So full fat organic milk, if you can, full fat organic yogurt, if you're going to be doing something with yogurt. I love this brand, Paris Creek, no additives, no added sugar, and eggs. I mean, if my kids don't eat eggs, I know it's so annoying, but they'll eat pancakes. So pancakes are so simple. I will ground up some buckwheat instead of wheat flour, get some buckwheat kernels, grind it up, makes a beautiful flour, 2 eggs, a banana, some cinnamon, bang. There's some pancakes, doubles up as lunch boxes. You've got a 2-for-1 type deal. It takes literally 3 minutes. So simple. The other thing for breakfast, guys, I'm going to say this. Last night's dinner. There is no such thing as breakfast food, dinner food, lunch food. There's just food. We can eat food at any time of the day, and actually eating leftovers from dinner for breakfast, brilliant. There is no more time required. You've already made dinner. So give them leftovers in the morning. So just to summarize, we need lots of fat. We need to stop doing breakfast cereals. We need whole food, real food, and high fat. I want to know this question. And there is no judgment here. I just actually really would like you to leave a comment below and tell me what your kids ate for breakfast this morning. No judgment. I just want to get a gauge of what we're eating here, because this is what when we know better, we do better. And actually, you know, for years, my kids ate a certain way. And then when I learned better, I could do better. So tell me below, like, no judgment, but I really just want to see a list. What are our kids of Australia eating? And if you want to get the full list of all of the breakfast foods, have a squiz in the journal. I will put the link in our profile. Go onto the website and I will link all of the recipes through. Hope that was helpful. Please leave a comment below and I will see you very soon. I've got lots more foods to talk about and delve into. I hope that was helpful. What did your kids eat for breakfast this morning? See you guys.